scores that are designed to solicit information and maybe create some profiles. What would the value in that be? Now, at the core of Common Core is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who, interestingly enough, just recently invested $100 million in a nonprofit organization that was just started up last year called In Bloom. They gave $100 million to a nonprofit organization. And In Bloom, this is in their own information, they are storing an unprecedented amount of personal information of 11 million students. There are already 7 states participating in this In Bloom nonprofit that just received $100 million from Bill Gates. One of them, this might surprise you, it shocked me, one of those 7 states is Massachusetts. Now, I could ask the superintendent to go through the minutes of the meeting to find out when we voted to give all of the students' personal information to In Bloom. But there's no point. We never voted on that, and we never would vote on that. And yet, they're saying that they're only using information that will help teachers in the classroom. Well, one of the other states is Louisiana, and they just threw out In Bloom because they found that they were taking and storing the kids' social security numbers. In Bloom said, well, that was a mistake, we won't do it anymore. There's no security with these things. What data was more secure than the NSA data? And that was compromised. The point is this. We don't want our children's information to be in some data bank. For what purpose? How can that data possibly help the student in the classroom? Schools need to remain in the control of the local board and the state at best. In the Constitution of the United States, the word education is mentioned 0 times. 0 times. Because it was always intended to be a state right. And it should be. And it should remain that. And for the federal government to come in here with the arrogance to tell the #1 school system in the country that they have a better idea. It's never been tested. The people who are responsible for doing the validation don't agree. But we have a cure for your disease. Well, we're not sick. That's the problem. We're not sick. In fact, we're quite healthy, and we don't need their help. There is some hope. And the hope is this. States and cities around the country are waking up. For whatever reason, Massachusetts is a little slow on the uptake. But one of the states that recently took great strides against Common Core is a state very much like Massachusetts in demographics and liberal leanings, generally speaking. And that's New York State. The governor there, Andrew Cuomo, who was a strong, ardent supporter of Common Core, after months of lobbying from educators and parents about the misgivings about Common Core, he finally reversed his position. Last Thursday, he said he agrees with the protesters' sign that proclaimed there was no proof the Common Core would help students. That is an unbelievable reversal for someone who was such a strong supporter. Cuomo went on to say, yeah, I'm with them, referring to the protesters. He went on to say, I think the way they have implemented Common Core has failed utterly. There is a massive confusion about Common Core, massive anxiety, and massive chaos all across the state. And it may have been a good idea, but you need a good idea, and then it has to be done properly. None of that is being done with Common Core. As a result, New York has taken the unprecedented step of delaying Common Core for a little bit. 2022. That's when they'll take a look at Common Core. Now, I personally don't think that goes far enough. I'd throw it out. I'd just say, get out and never come back. But I think at a minimum, we ought to follow New York State's example and delay it until 2022. And really, at a minimum, what I'm asking for is for something that is so monumentally going to change public schools forever, because trust me, again, I know a little bit about politics. Once the federal government gets a hold of this, they'll never let it go. It will be gone forever. And if you don't like it later, too bad, you missed your chance. This is our chance. This is our line in the sand. I'm asking that we do our homework on this. If you look at the Common Core and you like it, I can live with that. But don't go into this blindly. There's still time to back out, and I think we should add our voices to those of those growing communities and states that are saying no to Common Core. A good start is coming to that meeting on Tuesday, March 11th. Listen to what Sandra Stotsky has to say. She makes a lot of sense. She will shock you, and she speaks with tremendous authority. I'm certainly open to other opinions. I've done probably more research on this single issue than I have on any other issue since I've been involved in the school committee. And I am an objective person. And I try to read the pros and the cons, and I can only come to one conclusion in my research. You may come to a different conclusion, and that's fine. But one thing that must be done is we must go into this with our eyes open. And a good start, as I say, is please attend the meeting, the Higgins Auditorium, 7 o'clock, March 11th, Tuesday, March 11th, with Professor Stotsky. And